Hello, welcome back to Distant Worlds 2. We are continuing our Atuuk playthrough here, and we are just coming out of a little bit of a war. Nothing too crazy, but at the same time, we did manage to steal a couple colonies from nearby enemy. Not the one we thought we were going to steal it from, but stolen from them nonetheless. If we look at... Oh, we want smarter, because we want to get these techs done as soon as possible. I'm thinking, take a look at what we got here. We got more talent. I don't think we got any new species in our empire. I'm thinking we're dealing with the same group of people overall, but we do have some more spaceports that can be constructed soon, at least some new areas. So we'll get that sorted out. We do need to build up more fleets because we do not have that in place yet. We need some more cash. At least we're not reserving anything right now. We could see private cash flows doing pretty well. We did buy another a decent amount of mining stations. My guess is, yeah, we can see our construction ships are going nuts because we took over a bunch of territory that now entitles us to get a lot more mining stations up and running. So let's go ahead and pop these. And we are also going to want any research stations. Looks like we got one going on there. Research breakthrough for large-scale passenger transport. That's very nice. Let's look at colony ships. So there's 4 right now. 3 of them are actually heading somewhere at the moment. Why are you going here? Hidden Nexus? Empire bonus for PsyOps. Okay, that makes sense. So they're building a, there. We got one more building there, and then this guy, we don't really have much of a chance. He's all the way over here, kind of out of our territory, so I'm not gonna press that too terribly hard, but I'm debating if we should press our luck and push over towards these guys. I mean, they were the ones that declared war on us, so should we kind of return the favor and push down in this direction? We were originally looking up here. This makes me a little nervous because they're starting to take territory up here. That's kind of where I wanted to be, so I'm not too happy about that. Maybe we will stick to our war over here, but we'll just have to keep these guys in mind because they've declared war on us once before. They'll likely do it again. We got that up and running. We only got 2 more planets coming in the immediate future. Hopefully we'll get something else relatively soon. At this point, I'm just waiting on all these planets to restock their goods. I'm waiting for private sector to scale up and continue building more and more freighters, which they have definitely been doing. We can see civilian ships under construction, 38, so they're definitely scaling up to compensate and be ready for all these new mining stations that are coming out. Aside from that, I think this guy's going to go back on automatic. Our troop strength has been increasing. Let's go ahead and start building out some of these fleets, because that's been a bit problematic for us. All right, this guy's definitely powerful enough. Let's see if we could top this guy off. That's about what we expect our typical troop transport to be. And then let's top this guy off, which will kick out all those other ships. See, it did it again. It switched this to a primary attack fleet, which is not what I said to do. Well, in any case, we're building something up here. Let's build an attack fleet from existing ships, and we will put it there. we're gonna sort these by name. We gotta wait for some of these ships to build, and then we will join them to our fleet. If these guys are battle cruisers, once they're fully constructed, I'll just join them to the fleet by topping off. I do need to get another invasion fleet up and running just to start filling it with troops, because that's going to be needed for any sort of invasion we're planning on doing. What do you got going on over here? I see enemies in the system. Oh, it's not enemies. The wildlife. All right, we're about to get massive troop transports, which will be nice. Large exploration ships seem not pointless, because there's definitely still territory to explore. All right, they're tossing some fuel tankers in here. All right, we gotta wait to get a little bit cash positive here. All right, I feel like we have to build that building, but I don't want to build it on my most revenue generating planet because it's got minus 25%. Here's some other planets we can colonize. Definitely want to flag those. I mean, this seems like a pretty big planet. Why don't we build it here? Get the Empire bonuses, and the Beskarian troops are usually pretty good. All right, there we go. Attack Fleet 2 is pretty much complete. All right, we need to get another invasion fleet up and running. There, we formed that from existing ships, but in reality, it's still building a bunch from scratch. There, we can top up with a couple cruisers. I'm thinking some of these ships are actually coming obsolete. Maybe not quite yet, but they're getting close. All right, long-range civilian ships are happening. Light carriers are going to be next. And financially, we seem to be doing pretty well overall. I mean, we're spending every dime we get, but it's expanding our military pretty rapidly, and we're cash flow positive, like quite a bit positive. And it's only going to get better as time goes on, and these planets keep, converting as the assimilation completes. Is it sleuking on this planet? All right, let's sort this by population, sort down to the bottom. We got a lot of planets that still have room to grow here. Uh-oh. Where is this? We are being invaded by pirates here. Well, once the spaceport is built, I don't think that's going to be that big of a problem. All right, long-range civilian ships. That's large exploration and large colony. Go ahead and retrofit those ships real quick. I do want to obsolete the current ones. So let's go ahead and get the large colony ship up and running. Okay, we got the colony up and running, and then the large exploration ship, which should be the last exploration ship we need to build. All right, that is that. Everything will retrofit. Yeah, all these guys are coming back to retrofit and do whatever they need to do there. Hopefully they'll have better range and be able to keep exploring. How is this going? I mean, surely we're spending a ton of our money. Let's definitely get this. This is something we need. No ice planet guys yet, huh? Alright, we should have one more colony after this one. They're already building the research station there. Boo. On the other side of the galaxy anyway. We're not going to make it over there. It does look like they're pulling back a little of their forces. Are they at war with anyone right now? They got a lot of people angry with them, but they're not at war with anybody at the moment. Gazarians, I still can, I mean, they're at war with two very weak civilizations. Hoping I can sneak in there and take some stuff over quickly. See, this guy's pretty full up and about ready to go. All right, let's get this guy over here. This is where we want him hanging out. All right, we seem to be pretty good here. Hopefully we're going to fill up just the fuel ships. All right, that puts us much closer to where we want to be. So I realize I pretty much have no defensive fleets. I really do need to start building something up there. All right, what's in a defense fleet? So we do have destroyers in there. Was there a reason that all of these frigates, and I think destroyers? No, just frigates. Could they not be part of that fleet? Oh, a battleship got destroyed. That's brutal. I mean, those are some of the best ships we got, and to just lose them when they're jumping around, that is rough. All right, what are we going to do about defense with these guys? I'm thinking we got to come over here. I mean, our capital should be pretty well defended with all these different orbital batteries and stuff, but I guess let's go ahead and just plant everybody here. All right, 40% of fuel range is a very big circle. I think we scale it down to 300. All right, we're gonna make a general great. Thinking, what are these guys doing? They're just hanging out by a black hole. Let's come over here, set this as the home base. Go refuel there. All right, light carrier is almost done. That will add a new ship to my repertoire that is part of my template. Carrier right there. Be good to get that up and running. All right, that's the last colony we are settling for a little bit. Well, maybe not. Maybe. Where's this guy at? Is it in somebody else's territory? It's kind of out of range, so I'm guessing we're not actually going to send anybody over there anytime in the immediate future. It did it again. Okay, we got I'm guessing we have a setting somewhere that is causing that. Probably fleet posture. All right, we got light carrier up and running. Let's go ahead and check our policy settings for fleets. No, we got it on manual. Review and upgrade the fleet template. I will put that on manual. Yeah, not really sure why that's happening. It shouldn't be. All right, we're dipping into the red again, which is unfortunate. I was hoping this cash flow would help sustain us a little bit better, but we're not quite doing it. Looks like we got some building, retrofitting, some various things going on here that's taking a little bit of money and time. Building some spaceports too. So that's causing a little bit of a financial bottleneck. Hopefully we'll catch up eventually. I don't like how close these guys are getting to me. All right, let's send these guys over here to clear this place out. Okay, better mining engine means we're going to be mining more stuff. We still have not gotten this yet? Crazy to me. Okay, great direction. We are definitely going multiply. I know that seems kind of silly, but we did just take over a ton of, oh boy. So we're just tripling down on the unhappiness. But the population growth will be really helpful. And we need to grow and get our cash flow up and running. It's not very helpful when we're causing direction doubt and all sorts of other nonsense. Hopefully we'll recover from it fairly soon, though. You are not the great one. Can I dismiss you? No. Okay, so I'm just kind of hosed right now. We still building this thing? Looks like we are. Taking a long time. All right, you guys need to come up here. So we have 2 full invasion fleets right now. Well, that's the other thing I never built. I never built a updated design for the troop transports. Looks like we're going to see a decent amount of retrofitting and then probably scooping up more troops. The private economy is growing pretty rapidly. Plus 650,000. That should translate to decent growth pretty quickly. Are you guys still killing these guys over here? All right, we're gonna pick another general. Hopefully this works out for us. Nope. Another awful guy. Man, that is brutal for the economy. All right, let's get a lot of these little side techs researched. I think that would probably be a pretty good idea. We do need to get better bombers and fighters up and running, but I think I just ran out of money. You guys gonna actually jump? There they go. Let's hop over here, try to take this guy out, and then we will heal up what we can. I said heal, but I meant refuel. Alright, this system should be open now. I'm guessing we're already doing everything we need to do at any of these planets. All right, let's refuel from tankers because some of these guys are really low. Then we'll go from there. This fleet is not even needed anymore. Go ahead and disband the fleet and just let them all wander off and do their thing. Some of these guys are not in a fleet. All right, I think we're probably strong enough to start going after the Gazurians. They have 31 colonies, which doesn't seem that crazy to me. Yet somehow they're ahead of me. But I feel like we can press them. Could be wrong, but they're all occupied down here in fights, so. As soon as these troop transports are done retrofitting, we should be good. They want to give me free money? I'll take it. Not gonna say no to that. Alright, well, is the general gonna screw us over 3 times in a row, or what's gonna happen here? Yeah, there we go. He actually got a great one. So things are turning positive, finally, after all this time. Alright, we'll pop you on attack. Do your thing. How long is the rebuild of these gonna take? Not too long, it doesn't look like. But there are many of them. Oh, it's starting to build terraforming facilities. That is very positive cash flow. Private sector took a hit, but it's alright. Like we're starting to stay ahead of the cash flow for once. I'm wondering if we're kind of maxed out here. No, it looks like we're still pushing some stuff here. All right, I think we are good enough to start invading. We do have 2 invasion fleets, not fully stocked, but pretty close to fully stocked. The rest of our fleets are, kind of working their way to where they need to be. Some of them are already well positioned to defend us when we go to war, so I'm thinking this is the next step. Go ahead and speak to them and declare war. I did not check if they had any allies, but my speculation was no, they don't. So pretty weak overall. I'm going to go ahead and fly in here and bombard this planet. And we're going to see what we can scrape out of that. And then from there, we're going to come over here and try to take this planet out. Same kind of situation. Although I am just going to hop straight in here. A little surprised we're not attacking anything over here. But then again, we haven't flagged anything yet. So let's look at war colonies. Could try to clear some defenses over here. I'm gonna try to knock down as many of these troops as possible. Just try to maximize our troop life. I don't mind losing a little bit of population here. It is going to make people a little bit angry with us with the colony bombardment. But that's okay. Oh, let's go ahead and invade. Pretty much immediately dumping on the planet. Be a quick overwhelming show of force. Take them out. And then move on to the next one. Got that scooped up. Right, you're already over here. Let's just invade right on this planet. All right, we caught them sleeping. They were not ready for this at all, which is perfect. Exactly what you want to do. All right, I am gonna set this as the home base so that they start clearing out in this area instead. Looks like this all became mine when we took that planet over. I guess let's go push over to this planet. We could take these edge colonies, but I'm thinking we push more towards the middle. Try to take out as much as we can, because then we can take out these little guys too. Go ahead and take out that spaceport. We seem to have plenty of power to be able to do that. This looks like a pretty pivotal system. Let's swing over here and take this out. Where's this attack fleet at? We need to get this closer to the war front. Oh, it looks like it's heading over here to fight. Are there any colonies we could take over while we're scoping this area out? Looks like there are a couple. Anything up near the top? Definitely like that one. This one as well. Those are all down there. Not gonna mess with those yet. It looks like we're going to clear that out. Hopefully we'll make pretty quick work of this stuff. Looks like, yeah, again, with the garbage weapons, they really haven't been developing as well as they should have. Especially for being in first place, I'm a little disappointed. Oh, looks like they're trying to sweep in behind us. Ooh, that was a bit of a rough landing. Hopefully we'll recover. Looks like we did. These troops are going to have to recover from this invasion, though. All right, we're going to set your home base over here and let you start clearing that out. We're going to let these troops recover as much as we can. All right, did we already wipe out what we needed to wipe out here? Looks like we may have. What are we shooting? Just... what the heck? The camera was going goofy. Alright, this planet is now under our control. We can reload our troops and hopefully move on to the next planet. We know we're running a little bit... like, we're losing a little bit of troops every time, and a lot of them are having some health issues, so... not the greatest. They want to end the war already. That's really quick for a warmongering species. So it must be quite unfavorable for them, which means we need to press on. All right, let's load up whatever troops we can here. Try to move on to the next planet, whatever that looks like. Our colony ship, Lively Princess. Well, let's not flee. Well, maybe. Where's this at? No, we don't want an outpost. We want a colony. What are you guys doing? Camino. That's what we need on that colony ship. Well, let's unload those guys and load up somebody new, because that is ridiculous. It looks like you still have some people on board. We got to dump off somewhere. So I guess we keep pressing in this direction if this is where our fleets are going. This isn't their capital, but it seems to be a pretty well-protected planet. It has an advanced meta complex on it. The Galactic Wonder that's gonna boost quite a bit. Alright, let's come over here and invade. I'm guessing we can... come over here, do a little damage. It is a fair amount of troops on that planet, and I'm a little hesitant to bombard it. Maybe I shouldn't be, though. Man, that is freaking out when I try to zoom in. Be very slow. Let's just invade the planet. Ancient Tekan outpost. Don't want to destroy that if I can avoid it. Should be a pretty straightforward invasion, though. No shields or anything. Alright, so that is back in business. We now own that planet. And I think the other transport set is coming down here. We'll do another Great General, see how that turns out for us. Historically, not so well, but maybe this time will be different. We are starting to run a little low on troops. Let's jump up here and take this planet. Maybe we swing over here and take this one. Get this all in our territory. Leave me out of that. I don't want to be a good guy right now. Alright, let's invade this planet and be done with it. This should be pretty straightforward. Again, no defensive bases. So hopefully we'll take out their defenses without much of a problem. And that does appear to be the case. The defensive fleet, I think I'm going to bring it forward and have it maybe be a little more over here. Protect these planets. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing. That's still your home planet, I see. So you need to come over here and make this your new home planet. Alright, we're going to come down here. Maybe bombard this planet a little bit. Soften it up. This guy is their capital, and it has a decent amount of stuff on it. I'd like to push that far if I can, but again, running low on troops, which is always a bit of a problem. I mean, I'm definitely decimating them. They must have been getting wiped out by these other guys for quite some time. Because they've got pretty much just nothing left. I don't know why it's loading these colonists in particular. Alright, another problematic invasion that's gonna drain my troops. Can we bombard this planet? We can. Again, I didn't want to, but it does have a shield, so hopefully it will defend some of these buildings. At least from the worst of it. Can you not build that? Ah, you're already building it. I see. Okay, I'm guessing that is sufficient. Yes, and now we're landing. So the shield doesn't need to be destroyed, it just needs to be damaged to the, or damaged at all, and then my troops aren't affected by the invasion. So a little bit of bombardment does go a long way. Alright, I'm thinking we might be able to push a little bit further. We got another planet to go before we get there, but looks very doable. Well, more doable than it did a little bit ago. Anyway. This one, on the other hand, a little more iffy. What do we got going on here? We don't know what the troop situation is here. We see there's no shields. They'll give me a mining station. I'll take that. I'll always take a mining station. Well, if there's no shields, maybe we'll get lucky. We'll have to do a little bit more bombarding, but that's okay. We'll accept the defensive pack just to get that extra boost. Let's do stronger, because we need that right now. See if we could bust up that planetary generator a little bit. Looks like we can. We'll stop that and invade. Do I have this wind clear? All right, immediately invade. Hey, we got the we got this boy. Let's go tell it to retire, but we'll have to keep a close eye on it. All right, Planet Killer went rogue. I need to capture this guy. Can I capture him? I think I can. All right, well, we'll let it do whatever it's doing for a little bit. It is right in the heart of our empire, which is a bit brutal. Let's bombard this planet a little bit. Not too much, though. All right, we are almost to their capital. And then once we take their capital, we'll go to peace because we're kind of run out of troops, and we are gonna have to deal with this planet killer, unfortunately. Kind of a weaker spaceport there, to be honest. All right, let's load those up again. All right, Piro, you are good. We're gonna go ahead and let these people heal up a little bit over there. Looks like we are auto-flagging the planets that are able to be colonized without much of a problem. All right, let's hop down here and take their capital and that other planet in the system. All right, there they go. Away. Right, let's go ahead and load these troops, and then we are gonna go on auto invade. Hopefully they'll start rebuilding their troop count. I don't know why the attack fleet's just chilling over there. Alright, that's enough bombardment. I don't want to destroy too much. I just want to be able to invade without those shields damaging my troops. Alright, hopefully we'll make some progress here. Looks like we are slowly winning. Will I inherit this Empire happiness when I take this planet over? I don't know. Maybe. There we go. It is now under our control. New tech completed. Super ion blast. Okay. The wander map and tactical balance data core. See what those are. Extra scenery, extra colony happiness. Ship speed and hyperjump speed increased. Colony defense. Weapons range damage increase. Empire wide. Some extra defense on this specific planet. Seems pretty nice. Alright, well, they have not taken anything of ours, but they have destroyed troops, which is always a bit unfortunate. I do need to take these other planets. Definitely before I can go to peace. Hop over here. We're still colony bombardment, still dragging us down quite a bit. And we're gonna do it again. Just the smallest amount of bombardment seems to do the trick. Alright, this is under our control. Load up whatever troops we can. Keep moving. Go back to the capital here and load up more troops. That should give us plenty to take out that last planet. Is this guy repairing at all? I would hope he is. Oh, they're ready to end our war. So what is the value of peace to them? This planet actually has a decent amount of troops on it. We are going to have to do a little bombardment. Okay, I think we are good as soon as this planet gets conquered. Again, we're not taking everything, but we did take the capital system. Load troops and invade. Why did you stop? Stopped because you're a coward? And where were you headed? Mission to colonize Faublo. I mean, how far away are you from that planet? Not too far. Alright, so this is now your capital. At some point, we're going to take these green guys out. They're just cluttering up our territory. I'd rather have one nice, smooth territory if I get away with it. Alright, let's colonize this real quick. And then once that's colonized, I think we'll move on. Ah, it's a decent spaceport. Hopefully we can hold up long enough to take this over. Looks like we did. And that became ours. Perfect. Research breakthrough. Predictive missile defense. Very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to peace while we can. But we did take a lot of colonies from them, which is pretty nice. Took over this whole area here. Looks like they still have 18 colonies, which is not nothing, but we're definitely way ahead of them. All right, let's see what type of peace deal I can milk out of this guy. So it's unfortunate that going to peace with somebody when you're like way ahead doesn't give you the value of your war. Like I'm, what am I, 32 million points ahead of them. So the value of peace should be something close to that. Because look, if I say I want peace and I want a single station from them, I can't have it. Because there's no value there. I should be able to get value out of this. It's kind of crazy that I can't. I will not worry about that right now. This is going to put us a little bit in the negative. Hopefully not too bad. You know what? Let's talk about some of this stuff. Maybe this will lower the value of. Yeah, I'll tell you where all this stuff is at. Not that it's ever gonna matter to you, although you could trade it to other people, I guess. But then at least we don't have, you know, we have less value. I'll show you my map. There, and that saves me a decent amount of money. Then I don't have to go completely in the negative for that to happen. Perfect. And we just got a bunch of mining stations. I almost feel like they swung a little too far in the other direction and made mining stations worth too much on a trade. I don't know. We'll see in time. All right, let's check out research stations, see what we got going on there. I think we got 3 spots we can build up now. A ton of spots we can build. That's real good scenery there. So we'll get that built up. We did lose a construction ship or two to that rogue AI bot thing. Yeah, that guy's over here just harassing. Actually, he's still just kind of sitting there. Shooting at our mining stations. He's out of fuel, so he can't do too much. Interesting. All right, I'm thinking we are gonna have to go take this guy. Am I gonna be able to capture him? I don't know. All right, well, that is gonna be future us problem. For the time being, I am gonna call it an episode there. I feel we're running a little bit over. But we are at 74 colonies, which is a huge leap forward for us. And we have quite a few colonies we can still tag here. So it looks like we got another, what, 7, 8 of them that we're going to potentially get. And then that'll put us at 84, which is going to put us near the top of the pack, I think. Let's look at the victory conditions. We could see, yeah, we're starting to get up there. Our population is growing. Our territory is growing. We have not completed stronger or sneakier yet, but, you know, in time. Gazurians are definitely knocked down a couple pegs. It looks like a lot of their value was from the race victory condition, not really population, territory, or economy. So from that perspective, these guys are crushing it. But we are not too terribly far behind. Well, we'll see how that goes in future episodes. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to see more content in the future, and we will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.